The bottom line is the Dodgers picked a side. Very openly and clearly picked a side. You know, they disinvited this club after a group of Catholics voiced their opposition and were offended by this group, which we hear from the left every single day. And I keep saying I don't really care about other people's views. I don't just people don't go to a Dodger game to see the Sisters of Perpetual whatever do anything. Not to mention, what the hell are they being honored for?
Well, a lot of people are asking that. Former Major League pitcher, baseball pitcher, Curt Schilling there, condemning the Los Angeles Dodgers for choosing to re-invite the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence to their Pride Night event on June 16th. This latest political decision is angering many players and especially baseball fans and Christians, actually, all around the country. Let's discuss further with the CEO of Life Flip Media and sports analyst Eric Mitchell. Also with us is former California political candidate and Little League baseball coach Armin Kurdian. Thank you both for joining us. Our special guest, Tom Borelli, also here. Eric, I'd like to start with you. The baseball world is unhappy over the decision made by the Dodgers, including their own players. Pitcher Clayton Kershaw disagreeing with the Sisters receiving the honor, saying, quote, "I don't agree with making fun of other people's religions. It has nothing to do with anything other than that." Eric, 29 of the 30 MLB teams have a Pride Night to celebrate the LGBTQ community, but it doesn't seem like having it on the field may be the best call. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if it's about on the field. Number one, Clayton Kershaw, great job. He's the leader of the Dodgers. He's an all-star. Everyone around the league respects him, and he's a devout Christian. It was good to see him speak out about this. Now, Pride Nights happen at all Major League ballparks, but most of them don't have, I don't know, Satan-worshiping people on the field that also happen to be in the Pride movement. And keep in mind, that same group is part of Biden's staff that stole luggage. Was the leader in D.C., and that's his little group. So they're doing it, and it's just their on-field performance. It's for what they stand for. It's a slap at Christianity. We've already dealt with that with the mass shooting just a few months ago that targeted Christians. And here it is on the field, and players don't like it. Every player I've spoken to is trying to speak out about it, and Major League Baseball has waffled on it. Although less than 24 hours ago, MLB did change their logo back to their original logo. They did on the first. They had it the rainbow one, and the next morning, because of so many comments, they put it back to the OG one. So you can see it is affecting them, and they must have a good marketer that's not some woke marketer like all the other brands that have lost billions.
Yeah.
Armin, I don't understand what's going on with the Dodgers organization, because all they needed to do is look at some of the controversy that happened in hockey recently over just wearing pride jerseys. So why would they do something that would essentially accelerate controversy by actually honoring a group that is anti-Catholic?
Well, good morning. Well, as Eric said, Pride Night's been on the schedule for quite some time, and no one ever had a problem with it until you brought this group in. So you managed to, at the same time, you're trying to celebrate Pride. You're offending women, you're offending Catholics, and you're also trying to normalize some of these behaviors towards children. And some of these athletes have a very genuine, legitimate, and focused concern with the matter here. Now, let's look at it from the other side. If you were celebrating Black History Month and you brought in a bunch of white guys wearing blackface, would that be acceptable? I really don't seem to think so. And along the same lines, apparently cultural appropriation isn't a thing anymore. So it's not a question of bigotry towards gays. We absolutely don't want to do that. We've even seen it in our lifetime, and we're glad that we're past that part in our history. But now we've gone way past just protecting them, and now we're apparently applauding groups that do offend religion, and the 4.8 million Hispanics, many of whom are Catholic in Los Angeles County, so that's a big part of their fan base, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more empty seats in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, Armin, that's a great point. You know, Eric, it would strain belief if you could imagine a world in which the Dodgers would have a group like this that made fun of Muslims, Jews. Would never happen. So I think that's what's gotten a lot of Christians really up in arms this week. Eric, another Dodgers pitcher, Blake Treinen, wrote a letter as well, reading in part, quote, "My convictions in Jesus Christ will always come first. Since I've been with the Dodgers, they've been at the forefront of supporting a wide variety of groups. However, inviting the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence to perform disenfranchises a large portion of the community and promotes hate of Christians and of people of faith. Eric, the politics within our sports are just kind of really getting over the top now. We saw it during the BLM riots of 2020 in the NBA, the NFL. I think a lot of people, at the end of the day, we're living in a very politically contentious environment. They get off work, they want to turn on basketball, they want to turn on baseball, they don't want to talk politics.
Amen to that. That's absolutely. I mean, a lot of us are hope carriers that are devout Christians, and these players are too. And I think there's that disconnect, right? We've always had that. You bring up all the events of BLM. We have to remember these players aren't just baseball players. When they leave the stadium, they're husbands, they're fathers, and they're Christians. They have their own beliefs, and they're allowed to voice them. And I think people forget that. And it seems that one side can be as vocal as they want to be, but if the other side speaks out, we're punished for it. So these players are humans. A lot of them are devout Catholics and devout Christians at that. I mean, I live in the great state of Texas. We go to a Rangers game, we stand up and we really cheer for our country. I don't know. And we have Pride Night here. I mean, people think Texas, we're like immune to it. No, we have Pride Night and there's no problem with it. We fill the stands, but we don't have groups like this that disenfranchise women or anyone else. And it's just weird that sports has become this way and the Dodgers just choose to accept it and not back down from it.
You know, Armin, what happens coming up later this month when this event actually happens at Dodger Stadium? What do you think the pushback is going to be?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people who just aren't going to show up. You might find some folks going to try to sell their season tickets. Who knows? I'm sure just like a lot of the other major retailers, they're going to experience probably a drop in business. And I think that's a point that's actually being missed, especially here in the state of California, because of a lot of what's happening within our schools. It's gone beyond simply protecting those who may be gay or lesbian within high school. And now you're almost creating an industry where you're trying to create as many trans kids as you possibly can. There was a teacher down here in Southern California who was recently fired for telling parents about what was happening in the school. So it's a question of what is appropriate. What is the message you're actually trying to convey? If you want to be, hey, we support everybody, we support the LGBTQ community, you can do that very easily without bringing in a group which at the same time brings up a lot of these issues that we're seeing within our state, and is also a big reason why California public school enrollment is dropped to the lowest point in over 20 years and why 500,000 people have left the state.
Well said, Armin Kurdian, Eric Mitchell, and Tom Borelli. Appreciate all of you contributing to that segment. Thank you. All right, coming up after the break, we'll be checking back in with Tom Basile at Senator Joni Ernst's Roast and Ride in Iowa. How are the residents reacting to the GOP presidential candidates? We'll find out when we return. You're watching America Right Now.